Hey everyone, this is Veronica Cole. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a sew along for this t-shirt that I'm wearing right here. This is the Tazzy Tee and this is by Laura PR. And this was one of the t-shirts, or rather one of the patterns that I said that I was going to be sewing this week for new pattern November. And so I'm really excited because putting it together was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. This is one of the really beautiful things about sewing your own clothes, of course, is because you can decide what you have the energy for versus what you have not the energy for. I decided to film a sew along for this pattern simply because when I purchased the pattern, I was super excited about it and I noticed that there weren't really instructions inside of it. Now, Laura PR does have her own sew along video for it, but I decided to make my own that had a little bit more of my flavor, a little bit more of my pizzazz, and I think that it'll help those who are in love with this t-shirt style to go ahead and make their own. This shirt features a banded neckband as well as armbands that give a little bit more definition to the puffy sleeve. It does have a dramatic sleeve that involves both pleating as well as gathering stitches. And listen, this sew along is about 15 minutes long, and trust me, friends, it's not going to take you very long to put it together. I've gone ahead and put all of the links that you need down below. And the fabric that I used today is kind of like a cotton blend. It's not quite a cotton, it's not a cotton spandex, it's more of a cotton lycra. And y'all, when I tell you that this is beautiful, it has excellent drape, as you can see here in the sleeve. It is so breathable and it is so comfortable to wear. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with today's sew along. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to start cutting out, or rather putting together the Tazzy Tee from Laura PR. I've got all of my pieces cut out, so let's go through them. We've got, these are two of the pieces, the bands for the sleeves. So we've got two of these like this. This is going with the grain, and so it's gonna be folded over like this, and then also folded like that to create the cuff. We also have the neckband here. This will be folded over in half like so. So we've got the neckband. Then we also have two of the sleeves. Now it's important to notate how these sleeves are done. We've got like this little zigzag situation here. And this is what we're going to be using to create our pleats to give that dramatic sleeve. Then we've got a front piece for the shirt, and then we also have a back piece, or rather this is the front and the first piece was the back. So we've got all of our pieces cut out. Now it's time to assemble. The first thing that I'm going to be doing is sewing together our shoulder seams. So this fabric does have a right versus a wrong side. It does take a second to see it. So I'm going to put my right sides together right here. So we've got the back piece here. This is the right side facing up. And then I'm going to match the right side of my front piece together. And then we're going to be sewing at this shoulder seam here for both of these. For this project today, I will only be using my serger. So we're going to head on over to my Bernina L890 and get that sewn together first. Okay, so we're going to doing our shoulder seams first. And I'm using a 4-thread overlock with integrated safety seam. And I'm not using matching threads. So let's go ahead. Line that up nicely. So we've got that first seam done. Now we're just going to hit the second seam. Okay, line that up nicely. Okay, so our shoulder seams are done. Just that easy. So we've got our shoulder seams done. Now we're going to put together our sleeves. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on these sleeves. We're going to be pleating the sleeves up. So this is the right side facing up. And so we're just going to grab and pull it on up. So clip that together. Grab this next area here, pull it on up, clip that together, and then again grabbing and pulling this on up, so that way we are creating the pleats. So it's going to look like that. Let's turn it to this other side and do the exact same thing. Again, that back some so that you can see. Now I'm going upside down, but I'm still grabbing from the bottom and pulling up. And essentially I'm pulling it and then I'm going to match these sides here. So we've got that clip. Grabbing from this center area here, matching that side there, and then clipping. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to do it one more time. So you should be getting like a total of 3 pleats in here. And then we're just going to clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to baste this down on either side, and then I'm going to be gathering this center part here. Okay, so I'm going to clip the other side and then we're going to do that. Okay, so now that I've sewn that, I did use my serger just to base those stitches in place, and this is what the pleats are looking like. Absolutely gorgeous. And then what I did was I actually also used my serger to go ahead and gather that area that was in the top part that's going to be stuck into the arm side. So now that we've done that on both, we're going to go ahead and add this to our actual top, where we have gone ahead and sewn together our shoulder seams. So again, we're going to put our right sides together. This is our bodice that already has our shoulder seams put together. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up like so. And because the way that this arm side is designed, it doesn't matter which is the front versus the back on the sleeve. So I'm going to find my right side. This is actually my wrong side. You can tell because of how the fabric is versus the right side. And so I'm going to just go ahead and lay that flat. And I'm going to go ahead and clip this into place. Listen, I'm only clipping it into place for you all. Y'all know I don't really use clips or pins when I'm doing this. I am just going to find an almost center part here and clip it. So that way I can clip this into place. And I'm doing this because so even though I gathered it, because there was no specific measurement to how it was supposed to be gathered, like I am just going to go ahead and just clip this into place just to make sure that my gathers are essentially done properly. So again, you all know I don't generally do this. This is just for your viewing pleasure. So I'm just going to go ahead and clip this together. Now that I think about it, I probably should have done like, I don't know, maybe a different color, because I feel like this might be hard for y'all to see. But, oh, friends, it looks like we lined that up perfectly. So once I'm done clipping this, we're going to go ahead and take this to the machine and serge this into place. And then this part will be finished. The sleeves are probably the hardest part on this, this pattern, which is why I was like, oh, let me put together a quick sew along and tutorial, because sometimes doing things like pleats can be kind of hard to wrap your mind around when it's time. But I mean, look at how beautiful that pleat looks. Oh, it's so good. So again, we clipped our right sides together. So now I'm going to go and pop this onto the serger and serge that down. Okay, so I went ahead and we've got our sleeves attached here, front and back, both sides. And then I did go ahead and I closed my side seams. I just lined up my sleeve pieces together and sewed straight down the seam. The next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a look at the bands, and then we're finished. So the only thing that we have left to do is adding the neckband, the armbands, and then hitting this baby with a hem. So to make this a little bit easier, I'm gonna actually iron my neckband and my armband pieces first. I will be using my new handy dandy Mimi G iron to do this. So again, putting my right side, well, actually, let me just iron it flat first because this is like really wrinkled. I don't even know. I'm like, this thing was outside playing or having a good time. Like, why is it so wrinkled? So just gonna simply press it out first. Hitting it like this. And so because I'm gonna be folding this in half the long way, I'm going to be putting my wrong sides together because I want that, I want the right side to be shown. And because we won't be doing any like flipping or anything like that, we're just going to put our our wrong sides together, press this, give this a beautiful crease here. That also makes it a little bit easier when we're putting the neckband on. And then honestly, I think what I'm going to also do is the exact same thing for these armbands, because y'all, my armbands are really looking a little wrinkled too. And I'm like, why are y'all so wrinkled? So boom, hit it with just one more press. And listen, don't judge my little pressing area either, because y'all know I don't really like to iron. I didn't like to iron till I got this new fancy, till I got my new little fancy iron here. I'm going to double this up because I'm lazy for no other reason aside from that, okay? There we go. These like bands, they were out here hitting it with the bands will make you dance, okay? Okay, so now we're gonna fold these up and get a little crease in them as well. Boom, just like that. I just want it to be in half. Okay, so now that I've done this, now we're gonna head back to the machine and we're gonna go ahead and attach these bands onto our garment. Okay, so this is the band versus the sleeve, and I really feel like it's going to be really hard to stretch this band out to make it fit onto my t-shirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and run a gathering stitch around this armhole so that it's a little bit easier to sneak and fit in here. This is not part of the instructions. I do highly suggest it if your band is this much of a difference between your armhole piece. So if it works for you, it works. If not, then this is just a suggestion. Okay, so just so you can see what it looks like after I run the gathering stitch, this is what it now looks like. So I really feel like it's a lot easier for me to go ahead and fit that cuff on here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other armband with this gathering stitch, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my armbands on. Okay, so now that I have taken care of that, now I need to switch out my machine. So the Bernina L890 is a dual machine, so you can both do serger or overlocking as well as cover stitch. And so right now it's set to being an overlock stitch, and I need to switch it out to become a cover stitch. So I'm going to do that really quickly before we go ahead and finish up our tee with a hem. This switch, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come on over to my stitches, which is right here, and then I'm going to choose the cover stitch option. I am going to be doing a 3 3 thread cover stitch, and I am going to be doing a wide, and I'm going to be using the left center and the right center. So I made that switch there, and now it's just time to rethread and put the different foot on. For my cover stitch, I'm pretty sure that you can actually just use this C11 foot, but I'm going to go ahead and switch it out to my C13 foot, and then I'm going to be moving my needles on over from this spot to this spot, and then I'm just going to rethread it really quickly. So now it's in position to be to use my air threader, so I'm gonna make sure that my thread is long enough. And I just drop it in there, and then it'll thread. All right, so we're finished with the Tazzy Tee. Now it's time to go ahead and style it and wear it, seeing as though this is actually what I'm gonna put on today. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Y'all, I love it. I'm seriously loving this. So I love the length. Get into these shoulders. It's like, I mean, this is like fantastic, right? So we can see the detailing. I love it. And it's the perfect length to do a French tuck. Fantastic. Definitely wearing this now. All right, friends, I hope that you enjoyed this sew along. This was really great practice for me because it made me step out of my box. This was the first time that I have made the Tazzy Tee, and I did go ahead and film a sew along at the same time as me making it for the first time. So I hope that that shows just how easy it is. I love using Laura PR's patterns because they are really size inclusive. That is something that is super important to me because I really hate seeing a really dope pattern and then being like, oh, it doesn't have my size in there. So the size inclusivity is such a huge and important thing to me when it comes time for me choosing patterns to sew. So with that, I hope that you have already subscribed. Don't forget to like, comment, share this video so that we can get as many eyes on it as possible. And as always, if there's ever anything that you need help with, please don't hesitate to drop a comment below and I will respond, or feel free to reach out to me directly via email or any one of my social media channels. All right, friends, until next time, keep sewing.